and feng shui the place and stuff like that and all. So you know, you had a whole thing going on with that and all. So this, you know, so we equipped with the feminine energy, and also, like I said, this is more of a reunion. It's more of a reunion because pretty much since 1998, I've had the ability to stop the rain in every lecture, you know, and then except today. And apparently, that was for a reason. You see what I'm saying? So obviously, it's for a reason. It's got something to do with something spirit. I don't know whether it be intimate or whatever. I guess that ain't no fun to buy Cece. You know what I'm saying? You know, because it look like she might have to take the financial hit. But the spirit put it the way the spirit put it. You know, so that's just the way it is. Going right along, we got a lot of things we got to cover today. So we're going to pour some libations. And we have a lot of pictures that I've been dealing with recently, which the goddess Lakshmi, which is in so many words, we tapped into. This is when you know you tapped into a lot of the right energy. And they talk about this. You need to get a movie called The Mist of Babylon. Everybody seen this movie, The Mist of Babylon? It's a movie with Angelica Houston. It's called The Mist of Babylon. And I got this also in some they took this from some material that is in the Arthurian mythology that was brought up by the Moors, and I think even the Greek mythology talks about this same thing, whereas there's a realm, and you'll see it in the Mist of Babylon, because that particular Babylon, believe it or not, was run by a whole bunch of women. And in that particular Mist of Babylon, they show there's a realm that you can't get into not unless your heart chakra is right, or not unless you access a certain level of the feminine energy, or the feminine mysteries. And so that's the same thing happened here also when it comes to the, they call it Mabaglagan, they call it the Mist of Babylon, they also call it the Eleusinian period of Lucius, whereas that particular realm is a realm set over by the goddess. And so you have to access that particular realm, and that's the particular realm that is going on at this particular time. Let me give you an example. We know that in 2001, a lot of patriarchal, even black patriarchal, because this is the test, it has nothing to do with Europeans. That world has fallen regardless, but even the black patriarchal system that was set up started crumbling. So we had several people, and we we know that it didn't have nothing to do with the government, because if you are on the path, the government can't touch you, because they rolled after me 3 days after 9/11. Well, let's see, that was 9/11, which was that Tuesday. That Saturday, they rolled after me in 9/11, and as far as they had the street filled up with police cars, and me and the sister Kimberly was on the front porch, because we had just gotten back from New York, and because I was there doing 9/11, we was on the front porch of our house, and we was like, where are all these cars coming from? I mean, it was about 30 police cars, helicopters, big vans, and they came down the street looking, and they couldn't find the house. And we were standing right on the front porch, and it was almost like it was another dimension. And so the sister, Kimberly, was like, you know they're looking for you. And they couldn't find the house, and so they got a little embarrassed, and they sped off. On December the 19th of the same year, 2001, they tried to hit again and got the whole street the wrong way. They was on the street 2 blocks over. So everybody went through some form of being step 2 or being locked down. So, you know, they knocked off Collett, they knocked off, Dr. York. You know, they arrested Dr. York, and, you know, that whole thing went down. Farrakhan just pretty much just sold out. That's why he's still sick. I mean, they had Johnny Cochran's funeral the other week, and he came, and he could barely get out of bed the week before. So that lets you know that you can't call yourself spiritual and you still sick in this game. You see what I'm saying? So he could barely get out of bed. So, and him and Jesse called a special prayer meeting for the Pope the other week. It's a special prayer meeting. So H-Rap Brown, they killed him. They locked him down. So my point here is, but the protection was not a bunch of people standing around in suits and running their fucking mouth with machine guns or whatever. Protection is whether you enter that particular realm of protection, which is the bosom of the goddess. And that was the only thing that could protect somebody. You see what I'm saying? Because like I said, actually they tried to roll on me in 2000 when they had the conference with Khaled and the rest of that type of thing. So there's been a whole, so the point I'm trying to make here is most of the people who are not dealing with some form of the bosom of the goddess are, in so many words, have gotten the satisfaction from the goddesses. Especially when we say public speakers, let's face it, this is a patriarchal culture, so majority of the public speakers are male. And the ones who were able to survive had to do something, whereas the goddess said, okay then, you at a certain level that you could survive, because which sets up what happened to me last weekend, which I set this up, it's fresh on my mind. I got a call from a group of brothers that wanted me to come out and demonstrate Palo Manombe, which is the darker side of what is called coming from the Congo rites. It is like the underworld mysteries coming from Congo. And so they came out and they wanted me to demonstrate this Palo. So I said, well, so I was like, well, look, I said, well, look, you got to get, I said, first of all, you're on the wrong path already. I said, you're on the wrong path already. I said, you need to get some sisters. You want me to come out? They said, oh, no problem. So they went in and the last minute called a couple of sisters and stuff like that. And I said, well, I'll come and, and I do some stuff and all, and y'all break me off a little something. So we went out and they wanted me to get into how to work some magic. And I'm like, to be honest with you, I'm here to tell you that most of that stuff, those rites of how you work all that magic don't work no more. The mystery now here is you got to come from your heart, and whatever you do is magic, because if you read that stuff in them books, it don't work no more. And I said, so I'm saying, so in so many words, I said, well, what I'm going to do is I'm going to come in here, and for $4 or $5, I taught them how to live magically by saying, look, you can't take nothing with you. You got to be honest with yourself. It's all based on your heart chakra and how you don't lie to yourself. And I said, now, it's important that you don't lie. I said, I'm not talking moralism, because we're not talking about lying to like there's some God up in there looking down on you and you like ants. I'm talking about, no, I said, based on the science, there is a energy or a woman that sits in the middle of your heart. We'll go into this thing as we go on. And I say, you can't lie to her. I say, so it's simple. It's just like a person that's guilty. And I say, this is a science. So it got nothing to do with moralism. When the lawyer comes in and say, look, I need to know whether you're guilty or not. And although the lawyer is going to defend him, they say, now you can't tell me you're innocent and you're guilty, because I have to set up a line of argument to defend a guilty person to get a guilty person off. So this is how this thing goes. It has nothing to do with moralism. We're not judging you. It's just that I got to know what to do to get you off. So I told the people, I said, well, it's the same thing. You can't be lying. You must, in order to get this magic to work, it's got to be true, not to the omnipotent creator. It got to be true to your own heart and your own self. I said, so this is how this thing works. And I said, in the gateway to get on, and I said all of this type of stuff, and I broke down for 3, 4, 5 hours on how to work this magic, not with a whole bunch of hocus pocus. They wanted me to basically teach them some spells and all that. I'm like, that stuff don't work no more. I said, that don't work no more. I said, I'm trying to tell you how you're going to get this thing. I said, because it's a mindset. I said, we're talking about the goddess of prosperity, which is the goddess Lakshmi, which is the goddess of prosperity, which is the goddess Lakshmi, which is the one that permeates the scene since June the 6th, June 666, June the 6th.